I remember she ends up grabbing my hand and she ends up walking me into her bedroom, and that's when the weirdest thing ended up happening, where she went on all fours and she started barking at me like a dog. My girlfriend wanted me to be her owner. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba and welcome back to another insane story. Now, this story all takes place back when I was in high school, and I'm gonna say this right now. High school is full of weirdos. I think everyone understands, like, when you go into high school and you start meeting new people, you start to realize that there are some really massive freaks and then there's somewhat normal people. Now, luckily for me, I got the full-on high school experience. I got to meet weirdos and I got to meet total freaks and maybe a little bit of normal people. But I remember one day during high school, I was walking down the school hallway and I ended up seeing one of my friends walk up to me. Now, there's one friend that walked up to me. He would always tell me the newest news in the high school. He would always basically tell me all the gossip that's going on and the tea that is basically needing to be spilt. To be honest, I don't know why he would always tell me all the tea and gossip. I really never actually cared. But this one specific time he ran up to me and told me some tea, I was actually surprised because he walked up to me and said, "Yo, Bubba, bro, listen, I know you don't care, but listen, man, you gotta trust me on this." "What, bro? What is it?" "Okay, well, you know that girl that you were really interested in last year?" That's a lot of girls, man. You're gonna have to like tell me which one. You know, the one that's like in your class like last year." "What? Which girl are you talking about?" "Bro, the one that's blonde. You know which one I'm talking about." "Oh, her. Right. Wait, what about her?" "Well, like, she's single. You know that, right?" "Wait, she's actually single?" "Yeah, dude, you didn't know that?" And at that moment, I was in major surprise. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, basically, there was a girl that I had a massive crush in back when I first started high school. And let's just say one thing led to another. She automatically got taken, and I missed my chance to actually go on a date with her. But from what this guy was telling me, apparently that she was free for grabs, and, well, putting it that way sounds really bad, but you guys know what I mean. She was single and ready to be mingled with. So I remember at that day, I decided to take the opportunity, and I decided at lunchtime that I would actually go and shoot my shot. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. You guys think I'm probably insane because this girl just broke up with her boyfriend. And back when I was in high school, one thing I learned was that when girls just break up with someone, they're the most vulnerable at that moment. I know that sounds really bad to say and makes me sound like the ultimate supervillain creepy person, but you gotta understand, that was just me back in high school and something that I just followed along with my playbook. If you guys don't know what the playbook is, well, that's a story for another day. But going on, I remember lunchtime finally came around and I was basically walking around my high school looking for this girl and trying to find where she was, until I ended up seeing one of her friends in the hallway, and I walked up to her friend saying, "Hey, like, I was wondering, do you know where she is?" "Huh? Wait, why do you want to talk to her, Bubba?" Because I heard she recently got single, so I'm trying to, like, you know, I guess talk to her." "Bubba, she just broke up with her boyfriend. Come on, seriously? Like, you can't be that much of a dog." "Oh, come on. Can you blame me? I was interested in her before her boyfriend even came into the picture, so just give me a chance, okay?" "Okay, but fair warning, she's going through, like, a lot right now, and, like, she's trying to find her, like, true self." Now, when she said that, I had no idea what that means. Like, I get it, it's Pride Month and everything, but, like, at this time when the story takes place, there was no such thing as Pride Month. There was no finding your true self, so I really had no idea what that meant. So I remember I just said, "Okay, cool. Well, she can find her inner self with me in her." "Really, Bubba? Really? What are you, 12? Wait, what? No, bro, can you just point out where she is?" I remember she finally ends up pointing her out, and I walk up to her. I walked up to her and I said, "Hey, how you doing?" "Oh, I'm okay. What's up, Bubba?" "Oh, well, like, I don't know. I was just wondering, like, you seem kind of down. Is there any way I could cheer you up?" "What do you mean you want to cheer me up? What's wrong with you?" "Well, you know, I heard you're going through a lot right now, and I was just wondering, do you want to maybe go out sometime?" "Wait, really? You don't think I'm weird?" "No, why would I think that?" "Oh, well, I don't know. My ex-boyfriend, he started telling rumors around the school. I don't really want to talk about it." "Okay, well, I don't really care what your ex-boyfriend says. I just want to know if you want to go out." When I said that, she automatically had a smile on her face, and she was actually into it. So me and her, literally that same day, we actually ended up going on a date. But I'm gonna say this, that date was one of the most weirdest dates of my life, and you guys are about to see why. I remember at that moment, me and her, we exchanged numbers, and we ended up basically deciding to go to the park. I don't know why we decided to go to the park. For some reason, she enjoyed long walks, is what she told me, so I said sure, why not. I never argue with a good hike. So I remember that day after school, I drove back home to my place and I quickly got ready, and then from there I ended up basically driving straight to the park. But before I went there, I ended up picking her up from her place. When I got her from her place, I remember she came out, and she came out in all fours crawling on the ground, which I found really odd, but in my opinion, I thought maybe she just did that to quickly tie her shoes or something. I'm not really sure. At that moment, I didn't really question question it. But boy, I wish I did, because what ends up going on afterwards made me really weirded out. Because I remember she ended up getting into my car and we start driving over to the park. And when we finally got there, me and her, we started walking around and I started to realize she was acting really weird. Like she would try to sniff the air in weird ways. And every time there was like some certain animal around us, like a squirrel or another dog, she would draw attention to them very quickly. I found it really annoying. And I remember I looked at her and said, so, do you have like ADHD? Like, what's going on with you? Huh? Oh, no, it's just my changes I'm going through. Just don't worry about it. Okay, cool. I remember me and her, we did a good amount of laps around the park. If anything, we got basically a full-on workout in. And I told her, hey, do you want to like maybe like go for like a drink? Oh, yeah, I could definitely go for a drink. I'm down. So me and her, I remember we ended up going to our local Starbucks. And when we got to the Starbucks, usually, I like to order like a basic frappuccino or some kind of fancy drink that, Starbucks usually has. But this girl decides to be super bizarre and she looks at me, and once I order my latte, she orders a cup of water. Now, I'm not saying she's a weirdo for ordering water, okay? That's not the weird part, okay? I get it. Some people just don't want a fancy drink. But this girl, what she ended up doing with the water right after made it really weird. Because I remember right as me and her walk out of the Starbucks, she ends up taking off the lid of her Starbucks cup that had water in it. And she ends up, I guess, sticking her tongue inside there and starts licking the water instead of drinking it normally. Now, I've never seen this way of drinking water other than from animals. And at that moment, I started to really question what was going on with this girl. And do I really want to make this date weird and question it right then and there? I remember me and her, we ended up getting back inside my car. And when we sat inside, me and her, we just looked at each other. And at that moment, I just decided to say, so, where do you want to go next? I mean, you've been really good to me, Baba. Do you want to like maybe go back to my place and maybe we can get a treat? A treat? I mean, yeah, sure, I'm down. At that moment, I thought I was in. I thought me and her were gonna go, to her place and do the devil's tango. So I remember I ended up driving to her place, and when we got there, I parked my car, we went inside, and instantly went straight to the bedroom. And right as me and her sat on the bed, we got close together, and she ended up licking my face. At that moment, I basically ended up jumping off the bed, and I looked at her and said, yo, what are you doing? What's wrong with you? Baba, I want to show you my like true form. Your true form? At that moment, she ends up leaving the room and coming back in all fours, except in her mouth, she had a leash. And at that moment, I realized this girl pretended to be my dog. The whole time when I took this girl out on the date, she acted like a dog more than a human being. I don't know if that makes me a furry. Hopefully it doesn't, but I was really weirded out to the point where I looked at her and said, yo, like, are you good? Like, wait, what are you doing? Woof, 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 woof. Okay, you can speak English, Baba, this is like me, okay? Like, I'm a dog. You're a dog? That's what you realized? After all these years of going to high school with you, you figured out that you were a dog? I don't know. I guess in high school, you start learning a lot of things about yourself. But like I said earlier in the beginning of this video, there are weirdos and there are freaks in high school. And this girl went from being normal to a freak. I don't know. Would you guys have a girlfriend that's a dog? Or in that case, would you guys date a furry? Because if you would, then just fall for more embarrassing stories just like this one. Peace out, guys.